Hello everybody, I'm back with another review. Today we'll be doing a review on flashlights. Actually, this is my first ever flashlight review. So today we'll be doing a head-to-head comparison between the Novatac 120T, which is on the left-hand side, against the Fenix PD20, which is on the right-hand side. So feel free to pause the video to look at the specs and the size comparisons here, but let's go ahead and move on. Before I actually begin the review, I just want to give a quick shout out to Tristan 52799. He's got a channel right now, and he's trying to sell some knives to fund Spyderco. Either he's going to trade or sell them. So I thought maybe guys, if anyone have any interest in his knives, go over and help him out, and hopefully you'll get that Spyderco. But I'd like to thank him also because he's been trying to get me some more subscribers as well. So I really appreciate that. So thank you, Tristan 52799. Okay, so let's go and move on. So here I got the Novatac 120T in the left hand and the PD20 in the right hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start some macros to show you what these flashlights look like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in really quick, and we'll start with the Novatac here. So first off, let's start with the tail. So you get the tail cap with the button on there. The button is very, very heavily textured, which is very nice. It's also very large too, so your thumb can easily find it, as well as protruding out. The bad part about having a protrusion is that you cannot candle stand this flashlight if you want to. But luckily, Novatac does make another flashlight another version of this flashlight called the 120P. P stands for programmable, and that one has a flush button, so you can actually tail stand it. Both models actually have this awesome knurling on the body itself. Provides a lot of grip. And it's also kind of, I don't know what you call this, like kind of beveled out a little bit here, or so you can use it in a cigarette hold just like that, or you can hold it your traditional way like this. But either way, excuse me. But either way, it's a great flashlight. It has a kind of a striking crown here, like a striking bezel. Has a nice large pocket clip, which is actually kind of just as loose. It just kind of swings around like this, and it does scratch the body up a little bit when you do that. But it doesn't affect the functionality of the flashlight. Has a nice lanyard hole right there, so in case you want to attach it to something. All right. So this puts out a max lumen of 120. All right. So let's move on to the Fenix PD20. Now the PD20 is slightly smaller than the Novatac 120T. It's shorter and it is smaller in diameter. Again, uses an LED just like the Novatac does. The Novatac was made in the USA, whereas this one is made in China. So now let's start on the back here. Again, good texturing on the button, although not as aggressive as the 120T. But unlike the 120T, you can candle stand this if you want to. You can see the sides here raised up, so it's more or less kind of flush. So it may rock a little bit, but it will stand steadily on the table. I've tried it out already. There's a little opening here for you to thread a lanyard through, or you can thread it through this base here on the pocket clip. I believe this was mainly to lighten, to make the weight of the flashlight lighter. But of course, you can put a lanyard through here as well if you want. The clip is removable, just as the same as the 120T. This one features, excuse me, this one features two different modes on here, which I'll be going through in a second. The 120T only has one main mode. Again, uses the 123 battery, or CR123A battery, I mean. This one puts out a max lumen light of 190. So let's go ahead and run through some of the modes here. But hold on, before I do, let me go and show you the difference in size. So you can tell that the 120T on my left-hand side is a lot larger in diameter. It is slightly longer, even without counting the button protrusion at the very end. This is the 120T is still a little bit larger. The knurling found on the PD20 is not as aggressive as the 120T is, but it is sufficient, for good enough feedback here. So let me go and start with the 120T. Now, the one thing I love about this flashlight is the ease of use. So everything happens with one button. So when you turn it on, you just click it once, it turns on. There you go, you got the full, and in this case, you got the full 120 lumens of light. Double click, and instantly ramps to a lower a light setting 3 times. And it goes to the lowest, which is great for map reading or something you don't want to burn your eyes out by reflecting it off of a map or something like that. So very nice. At any one point, at any one of these modes, if you hold the button down, strobe mode comes up, and then when you let go of the button, it resumes the light that you had the setting on to begin with. So very, very nice. And then one click turns it off. if you want momentary, you just hold the button down and let go, and there's your momentary right there. So very, very nice, and it's great because you don't have to do anything special like loosen the bezel or whatever, so everything is done by one button press. Very awesome. Okay. Excuse me. Now the Fenix PD20 is a little bit more complicated, not by much though. So what I'm gonna do is the bezel is completely tightened right now, so I'm gonna loosen it just a little bit. And what that does, it kicks it down to the secondary set of settings here. So this, I believe, is the lowest setting right here, which is still pretty bright actually. If you half press it, meaning you don't click the button, you'll go to a higher medium setting, and one more click will go to the highest on the secondary mode. One more half press, it goes to an SOS mode. So you can see as it repeats the SOS signal there. So then, of course, a full click and turns it off. Now, when you I'm gonna turn it back on again. When you tighten up the bezel, it'll go to turbo mode. See that? So this is the full 190 lumens of light. Now, when you half press from here, it goes into strobe mode. All right. So, excuse me. So the one good thing about it is that you don't have to hold the button down to maintain strobe mode. You just half press it and let go of it. All right. Whereas on the 120, you do have to. The other thing about the PD20, excuse me, PD20 is that it does not have a momentary on. So you have to click it on, and you have to click it off. So there's no momentary on there at all. There's one thing about the 120 I do not like, is that it requires a battery reset every single time you change the battery. So because it has to detect whether it's rechargeable or just a regular primary battery. So every single time you put it in there, okay, let's say I just put a new battery in. When you tighten it up, you'll get a little bit of light. And then during this light, second light, you have to hold it, which I didn't do it correctly. Let me do it again. So when you tighten it up, you have to hold it down, and the light will ramp down. Come on. There you go, and now you can let go of the light, and then now supposedly it is now a reset to that particular battery. All right, so that's one little thing I really hate about it, because sometimes I don't do it right, and I'll have to do it all over again. But on the PD20, nothing of that sort. You stick the battery in, and you're ready to go. So, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video here now, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some beam shots. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. Both the lights are about 3 feet away from the wall here, and they're just show you really quick what the beam shot looks like. So we got the Novatac 120T on the left-hand side, and the Fenix PD20 on the right-hand side. And you notice how they both seem similar in shot, but the PD20 has a wider spill beam and also a hotter spot in the middle. So basically, if you're looking for something with more spill and flood, the PD20, although being a smaller flashlight, does provide a little bit more. So up next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I'm going to go and do a long-range beam shot for you guys. So I'll be right back. I'm going to just pause the video. Okay, so here we are in complete darkness, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shine the light here down the room here. Now, I'm going to start with the Novatac 120T, so let's let the camera focus here. So I'm thinking I'm sitting about probably 35 feet away from the wall back here, and you can see how much of it lights up the room. So this is again the Novatac 120T. So it's got pretty good, nice spot in the middle with a very, very nice spill beam also, and it looks like it floods the room a lot more. So let's go and check out the Fenix PD20 here. So I'm gonna shut this off. So here's the Fenix PD20, and you notice that the spot in the middle is a lot brighter than the Novatac, and it also provides a lot wider spill beam. As you can see, the sides are a little bit more lit, and you can see the ceiling there as well. So again, I'm shooting at the exact same spot here. So for a smaller flashlight, the PD20 is actually a really, really bright light. So okay, well, let me go and shut these lights off, and I'll be right back with the conclusion to my head-to-head test here. All right, well, here we go. This is my final conclusion and wrap up of this head-to-head test. So again, the Novatac PD20 or 120T is on my left-hand side, and Fenix PD20 on my right-hand side. So let's go through some of this, the comparisons here. So first off, we got the Novatac, which is not able to be, it was not able to candle stand, but has an awesome protrusion on the button here, so you can easily get to it. It's got one-touch modes, basically one-touch button to all the modes in here. It's got you know, high, medium, low, plus a strobe mode. All right, it's got a great knurling. It's got this little cutout for a cigarette hold. Very large clip on here, and again, very bright for such a small flashlight. Now, on the other hand, and also this is made in the USA. On the other hand, you got the Fenix PD20, which is made in China. You know, excellent flashlight. I own three Fenixes already. It's got the tail cap that is able to candle stand, although it is a smaller diameter, which makes it a little bit odd to hold. I don't know about anybody else, but smaller diameter is a little bit more difficult to hold in my opinion. Where you got a larger diameter, which is very easy and very natural to hold in this kind of a grip here. The PD20 has this nice low ride clip on here. 2 points of carry or for attachment for lanyard. You can either put it through the middle of the clip or you put it through this opening here. Again, good texturing on the button, although not as aggressive as the 120T. Again, still LED. Both of them use the exact same batteries, the CR123As. Now the PD20 has the Novatac 120T beat by a few lumens here, so this one puts out a max of 190, the Novatac puts out a max of 120. But as I demonstrate, both lights can sufficiently light up an entire room, so there'd be no worries in that department. If you wanted the Novatac to candle stand, you're going to have to get the 120P, P for program, where the tail cap is all flush with the buttons, so you can actually easily tail stand it. Problem is 120P is you have to program it. So if you program it to whatever light settings you want. So if you want SOS mode and 5 different other or 3 more extra light settings, then you'll need to get yourself the PD20 here. The only problem is it has a little bit extra thing you have to do where you have to loosen the bezel to get to the secondary mode. But other than that, you have SOS and three more light modes. You tighten the bezel, you get the turbo and the strobe mode on here. Strobe mode on both these are very effective, as you can see. So I'm sure they'll both work equally as well. All right, so my personal opinion is that I probably would still carry the 120T, even though the light is not as bright. It's even with some of the other things too, like the battery light reset, which is a very annoying thing to me, by the way. But again, that's just my personal opinion. This is much more comfortable to hold in the hand for me. I love the button that protrudes. I don't really have a need to candle stand. Even in a power outage, I got plenty of flashlights around me. It's not a huge deal that this thing can't candle stand. Again, it's not a huge deal that this doesn't put out 190 lumen of light, because at 120 you can easily blind an attacker with with this light. Basically, both these lights can completely blind anyone. If you choose to use your lights in a self-defense situation. So they're very small, both of them. Easily concealable. And with these little small batteries, I mean, these guys are perfect for an everyday carry. I have no problems recommending either one of these to anyone. All right. Okay, well, this concludes the head-to-head test between the Novatac 120T and the Fenix PD20. Again, thank you all for joining me and taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I always appreciate it. Questions, comments, leave it below, PM me, whatnot. I'll always respond. So, all right, until next time, take care, everybody, and thank you very much.